Hello YouTube, today we got something a little bit different. So I'm basically going to be talking about why lower tier decks are not going to be able to compete in a normal Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Now this is something I was talking to somebody, since you guys know I play Pokemon and I had always been a VCG player versus the Smogon rule player, and since I was doing Showdown for team building and having a little fun doing Pokemon battles, probably will get that on YouTube eventually, is some of my Smogon battles. Anyways, the main point I was trying to make is my opponents here. Was we were talking, one of my friends, when we were talking about Smogon, and he was saying, since he knows I normally don't play that format and I was playing it, and he was asking me how it was like and what I thought about it. So I told him it's kind of a lot like VCG, except for only certain Pokemon you see in the higher tiers, and that's about it. So he was saying same problem at the VCG, that they don't really let, that all Pokemon aren't really diverse. And so yeah, we kind of agree that they had the same problem, that the meta was still the same meta, it's just different things because other things got banned in the tier. And then we were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh and thinking, this happens with Yu-Gi-Oh cards too, is you ban certain things, you don't really let the lower tier decks come out to actually be able to play against the higher tier decks, but you basically make it so all the higher tier decks are able to play against each other somewhat fair. So then it was becoming like, well, how do you fix the problem? So in a game like Pokemon, probably the only ideal and best way you're ever going to be able to fix it is I don't know, you guys had played Dragon Ball Z, Tenkaichi Free. Really good game. It had one of these things called DP Battle, which is Destruction Points, which basically you were allowed 20 Destruction Points for your team. So you can build a team of whoever and what you want. Some characters were worth more points and some were worth less points. Like example is Hercule is worth 1 point. The only reason you use Hercule was because you basically had to fill up your last point, and you just want to use 5 guys to get optimal switch initiative and best productivity for your team. A person like what was it? Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, Goku were DP of 9. I think Frieza was either a 6 or a 7, but you're getting the point, is if you're building a team out of the most powerfulest guys in Dragon Ball Z, you're going to go way over 20. Like, for example, you just did Goku and Vegeta. That's already 18. Now you're stuck with only being able to do 2 points left, and you may only have 3 or 4 guys. I think it's going to be 3 because I don't think there are 2 guys that are 1. I think it's 2. It's a lot of them, and then it's so on. I don't know. It's been a little while since I played the game, guys, so sorry. But then my point is, if you were facing a opponent who picks 4, 5 to 6 and stuff, they can have 4 to 5 players to your 3 players, which is kind of a disadvantage when you think about it. So that's kind of how you have to do something with Pokemon, is create the disadvantage there. Now with Yu-Gi-Oh, we don't really have something like that, unless we were to rank every card, and nobody has time for that. Nobody's going to have that kind of ability to give points to each card, even though that would probably be the most effective way to do it for Yu-Gi-Oh, but then you have to figure out how to get every deck playable. But another thing is, if you gave lower tier decks perks. Like an example is, say you're playing Gladiator Beasts, you got 3 to 4 perks, and if you're playing their Cloths, you got 1 to 0 perks. That's might make it actually an even match and might make the game somewhat fair. So perks to higher tier decks, then we're just going to go into the same problem with like Smogon and different things where the higher tier decks are still being what is played because they're getting the same amount of perks, so there's no incentive or reason for somebody to go to the lower tier decks since, like I said, they're getting the exact same treatment, so what would be the point? So if we did something like that where we gave like the lower tier decks the ability to be just a little bit stronger by like say having more advances than the more powerful decks, like I said, I could see we actually having fair and fun meta, as well as pretty interesting tournaments where it's not just so stale and where only like the where you got budget players who are trying to make lower tier decks work, where they actually are working and they have that better advantage. So I don't know, tell me what you guys think. You think that would be a great idea, if that would work? If you don't think it would work, I want to know why, and what other ideas you can really do to just like fix the game to allowing like different decks to participate against each other and having a real fun and diverse meta. So let me know what you guys think. Have a great day. See you guys again. Bye.